feller and his team of Nazis, feminazis, and fucking racist assholes.
Jason Aldean. Is that a country singer?
Yeah, apparently. I'd never heard of him until he turned out to be a fucking prick.
Well, that's usually how you hear about people.
Yeah. Anyway, the situation with Jason Aldean is you can read from one of his supporters. His supporter believes that if people burn down your house or destroy your property, that you have the right to murder them. So that means that there's approximately how many homeless people are in Spokane right now? Between, what, 1,100, 1,400?
Yeah, I thought that was already the law. I mean, that's law here in Oregon. Certain property crimes, you can shoot somebody dead.
Yeah, I'm just, the question that I asked is about how many homeless people are there. Because the homeless sweeps have affected all of them. The homeless sweeps have resulted in property damage, has resulted in lots of taxpayer dollars used to destroy people's property, to deprive them of their rights.
Sweeps. They go.
Aware of what the fuck. There it goes. Jesus goddamn Christ. Alright, well, it's pretty important for me to be able to do a video, though, for a minute, so that's what I'm going to do. Alright, so this Jason Aldean feller, the people that are supporting him, as well as himself, believe that murdering people is acceptable. Now, the reason that I'm pointing this out is because while these people believe that it is acceptable to murder homeless people and burn our tents down and bulldoze our tents, deprive us of our human rights and dignity, paint us all as predators, you say, how dare we judge? Not all cops are bad, but you want to insinuate that all homeless are bad. Or, of course, you want to go, oh, well, all homeless are bad. But enough of them that, go fuck yourself. Go fuck yourself. Here's the thing. This son of a bitch who wants to say that if people are going to destroy property, that they should be shot, well, that's what got you into this fucking mess to begin with. Rich people, property owners, if you're a property owner, you're richer than any homeless person. Property owners don't want to see poverty. So what do? They have the cops come and fucking harass us. Oh yes, the cops will fix it. Well, the cops' idea of fixing it is to charge us money or arrest us, which takes away our things. Their idea of our homes is to bulldoze them or light them on fire. What does this mean? This means that Jason Aldean and his fucking cunt rags are a bunch of goddamn hypocrites. And by God, if you allow a police officer to railroad your house without shooting him, you are going to piss off Jason Aldean and his team of Nazis. Police officer destroys your property, steals your things, or burns your house to the ground, Jason Aldean and his bigots believe that you have the right to shoot that officer dead. See, this is how violent people work. This is why the educational system is the way that it is. This is why it's been going downhill. This is why we have had the two biggest retards in the goddamn country be presidents back to fucking back. No offense. I mean, first, we got Donald fucking Trump, and you can see it when he starts tilting his head to the side. It's kind of like those little games. You guys have heard this, haven't you? He's trying to get the marble in the right hole. That's all, folks. And then, of course, we got Biden, So like this guy literally has Alzheimer's. I'm not joking. I'm not making a joke about this in the least bit. He literally has Alzheimer's. The man is no longer mentally competent to wipe his own ass without assistance. Stop laughing. It's not funny. This guy's a human being. This is Alexander.
Ronnie.
Alexander, this is Nick.
Right.
I'm better looking than both of you assholes, and I'm pissed off that you're both bigger than me.
Well, I'm 6'7", so I'm a gentle giant, so I'm pushed not to be.
Well, both of you monsters are bigger than me, and you're both furry as fuck. My God, you know what? If you two went streaking in the woods, people would take pictures of you and say it was Sasquatch. Well, not really. It's not my best one of the night. You can ask him. When you guys go making those suggestions, do you stop to consider those suggestions being used back against you? Do you ever consider that? Having issues again. People seem to think that possibly Dr. Martin Luther King Jr.'s way was the right way to do it. Of course, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. ended up having to do it Malcolm X's way, didn't he? When racists surrounded his house, put a brick through his fucking window. Commonplace back then. Yeah. Even the great man himself brandished the Second Amendment to protect the lives of him and his family. I don't have a gun to protect my friends and family with, but my predators have them. It's a damn shame I'm a better shot than all of them. How many of my predators are Marine Corps Scout snipers? If you don't have military marksman training, you're probably not going to outshoot me. I spent too many years playing duck hunt. All right, that's a joke. Just some people are naturally good at certain things. I choose not to have a firearm. I choose not to run around being violent with people. But also I know that as a disabled person, someone who you want to call mentally ill, you can harm me whenever you want, make it your word versus mine. But these people said what they said, didn't they? Of course they did. I also spoke up about Autism Speaks on Autism Speaks page today. You know what responses I got? The little ha-ha face. Right? It's about Facebook reactions now, isn't it? By the way, it was a woman who thought it was hilarious that an autistic person would stand up for autistic rights on a site supposedly for autistic people. Autism Speaks. Well, unfortunately, Autism Speaks doesn't speak for autistic people. It speaks for our predators. The situations of physical or sexual abuse or murder of children. In all of those cases, the parents are the overwhelming majority choice for who's going to victimize their children. It also includes financial abuse. These parents who hide behind their children are the very same parents who will use their children to get away with committing crimes. A lot of my loved ones are corpses now. This Jason Aldean, he's something else, isn't he? How dare the people that you victimize into having nothing ever fight back, you fucking coward. See, that's the thing about rednecks. Rednecks, just like cops, goes after whoever it's easiest to get away with taking it out on. And those least likely to be able to fight back. Although men commit less crimes in nearly every category. I say nearly every category. While women are at least equal to or greater than men in the quantity of crimes committed, the quantity of violent crimes committed, the number of children beaten and the number of children beaten to death, the number of children murdered by a parent. These are all women in the top fucking bracket. Of the violent deaths, 31% of the time it's going to be your mother, statistically. 31% of the time it's going to be your father, statistically. That is 62% of all violent deaths committed by parents. 90% of the time, if you are raped or molested as a child, it's going to be a family member. 80% of the time, it's one of your parents. When it comes to beating children, most of the time, it's your parents. With women being 5 times more likely to beat on the children than men. Women also beat out men in all other forms of killing children. See, here's the thing, is that there's a lot of types of death or murder, I should say, that are not considered violent, and I don't, for the life of me, understand why. Women are 15 times more likely to poison their children. They're almost as likely to drown their children. Men don't often drown their children. We had a woman just today here yesterday now. Yesterday in the United States who killed all 3 of her children and then blew her own brains out.
Maybe you want to drink water, bro.
You want to fight about it? I'll run like a sis. Oh, I can't even run away. I have water. Have you been noticing I've been drinking?
Yeah.
Anyway, when Jason Aldean and his cronies want to type about destroying people's property, what about those without property? Those who you want to pretend deserve it, that they chose it. Yes, that's right. Your victims chose to be your victims, and therefore it is okay for you to shoot them, right? Jesus fucking Christ. And I bet you call yourself a Christian too, don't you? Yup. You can't judge me. Only God can judge me. But you already judged us. You already went out of your way to be whiny fucking cunt rags because, oh my God, homeless people are sleeping. My God, oh my God, run! A homeless person was urinating, you say? Oh my God, something must be done. Oh, we can't have people who don't have houses urinating. So we got this Jason Aldean feller
He's a country singer.
He's a ballless wonder. He's a fucking chode wipe. He don't know the first goddamn thing about real fucking work. How many times in the last 30 years do you think that some bitch went out and cut a tree down? He's a country singer.
Yeah.
If he's not fingering a guitar, he's fingering a groupie. This white boy ain't got no room to fucking speak. Now, he's from Nashville, Tennessee, talking about people taking care of each other in a small town.
Nashville's not.
Try this in a small town. You ever been to Nashville?
Yeah.
Really? You mean you're not from Oregon?
Tennessee.
Holy shit. Small country.
My grandfather's from Tennessee, bro.
I was just in Bristol in 2019. Bristol,
So,
Tennessee,
that
and
makes me
Bristol,
half
Virginia. And so here's this guy singing about shit that he don't know nothing about. And a lot of his followers want to talk about it. You know who most of these protesters are? People who are sick of being fucking killed. People who are sick of being killed with absolutely no rights whatsoever. No judge, no jury, just a goddamn executioner with a shiny badge. Woohoo! I ain't talking about black people. I'm also talking about poor people and native people and white people too. You know, white people can be poor, right? So we got this Jason Aldean feller. He make this song about how people in small towns gonna look out for each other and protect each other. Really, if that's the way it was, there would be no such thing as homelessness. Even a slave was given lodging. I want you to remember that. Write that down. Even a slave was allowed housing, provided with it. You know, there's a lot of people out here that sleep in the rain, sleep in the weather, sleep in the snow. An old chicken coop would work for someone like me. It'd work for a lot of the guys out here. I don't know about the ladies, but if we could free up, you know, the things that you're not using, then we can allow those women to have them facilities where they can have their asses wiped and their faces powdered. Or did I get that bass backwards?
Sounds about right.
You know, here's the thing, is that we do need to look out for the victims, but we also need to pay attention to who the victims actually are, and we need to look at both sides and all evidence before making a decision. But that ain't what we got. What we got is the blame game. Men saying it's women's fault, women saying it's men's fault. KKK says it's black folks and BLM. BLM says it's the KKK and white folks. Holy shit. Can't we all just get along? I might be a little too close to California to say that one. So, you guys get to see the screenshot I put on the front of this. This comes from that Jason Aldean video. The one that's got people all up in arms and got their poopers all puckered up. And people want to talk about how after asking the police to do horrible things to us and allowing the police and city councils to destroy us systematically as human beings. Be safe, Alexander. After all of that, then you're gonna whine that you don't want the same thing happening to you? Are you a fucking stupid son of a bitch, Jason Aldean? Holy fuck! Tell you what, son. When you lose literally everything that you've got, you can go ahead and tell me about how hard you work for it. When you got to come out here and get a real goddamn job until your body doesn't work anymore. then you could tell me all about your whatever Nazi bullshit you want to talk about. Whatever commie bullshit you want to talk about. What other insults you guys try to use? Oh, whatever liberal bullshit you want to talk about. Because see, here's the thing, son. You ain't out here on the streets. You ain't living this shit. You are the furthest thing from fucking reality. And the biggest fucking loser to try speaking about shit you don't know nothing about. It's like having a fucking Kennedy making decisions for poor people. I like Kennedys actually, but as long as homeless people ain't got no rights, as long as our camps are being torched, as long as we are told that we can't be anywhere, as long as police are harassing us over these fucking business owners and you goddamn cowards in houses who are fucking pampered. I want you to keep in mind that when you throw people away, this is where they go. This is what they endure. This is what they live. And we got Nazi bitches like Jockstrap Aldean who want to pretend that people are carjacking folks, small towns. Oh my God, someone might carjack me in a small town. Oh, there's socioeconomic issues involved in that. They got nothing to do with, oh, people in small towns look out for family. Well, you know what? If you in a city and you fucking molest some dude's little girl, he wants to shoot you just as much as anybody else. Of course, the reality is the most likely person to be molesting your daughter is you. Write that down. Why is it that there are so many women who hate men? Well, it comes down to the fact that there's a lot of daddies out there who just can't keep their nasty cock beaters to themselves. You know, the bigot type. The type that want to promote burning all these homeless people's camps, bulldozing them. You want to propose we spend $300 million to help out homeless people in Oregon, and then you're going to spend, well, a good majority of that bulldozing their encampments. How much land could $300 million purchase? A lot of land in my personal guesstimation. I've been looking at what's here. This is expensive property. Real expensive property. $3,200 a month for rent average. Moral of the story is just because he put on a cowboy hat doesn't make him a cowboy. And just because he's got a big-ass belt buckle to draw your attention to his crotch doesn't mean that it works without Viagra. Obviously, the man has some hatred towards something of his that don't work right. Maybe it's his brain, maybe it's his other brain. But what I am going to say is that that man is so far fucking removed from reality that he has no right to speak on any of these situations. Just because it's not your people being murdered, not your people being slaughtered. Oh, just because you didn't know Christine Buhit, it's okay, right? Just because you didn't know Natalie makes it okay, right? Just because you didn't know my loved ones makes it okay, right? You singing a song about hate, son. A lot of people hate me and threaten me and harm me and assault. To shoot me has shown himself to be a complete and total fucking coward. But you've shown 100% beyond any shadow of a doubt Beyond any shadow of a doubt, after watching that video, it made me realize that somebody has to arm the homeless, even if they're schizophrenic, even if they're delusional, even if they think they're fucking Santa Claus. If you're going to use mental illness as an excuse to murder people, those people should at least have the right to fucking fight back. But you know what I'm promoting instead? Working together. See, now this might be a good thing. This might be some sort of historic coming together of the KKK and BLM, but probably not. More of the idea that, well, it became less and less legal for racists, or hate mongers, I should say, to take it out on black folks. And this is how hate mongers operate. These are narcissists. They'll hurt anyone that the public will let them hurt. If you can discredit somebody by calling them mentally ill, then predators will find somebody and call them mentally ill. Or better yet, find someone who's already called mentally ill. This is how predators work. Aldean and his boys, they don't work right in the head. They don't know the first goddamn thing about what these protests are about. And until his daughter gets her fucking brains blown out, he's gonna continue to be fucking clueless. Until his wife is the one who is raped, he's gonna remain fucking clueless. Until he's the one sitting in jail or prison without money for bail because somebody lied about him, he's gonna continue to be fucking clueless. Mr. Aldean, when people threatened to kill my sister, I spoke up. You saying I should have killed those police officers? And your supporters. Oh, you want to say if you look away to every single crime committed by police officers against the homeless. Every single one. BLM will make a big fucking stink about a black man in a house, but doesn't give two shits about a black man on the streets. Sure as fuck don't give a holy goddamn about any white man. We got the KKK, claim to be Christian, claim to care about white people and white people's rights. Well, unless they're homeless, of course. Because now that the KKK can't take shit out on black people without getting in trouble, well, they can still take shit out on the homeless. Now, I will agree wholeheartedly that the LGBT community has stepped entirely out of bounds by not calling out their predators or putting them in check while claiming that every other group should do this. The homeless, up until about 5 years ago, used to self-regulate quite well nationwide. We had to. Had to have some way of stopping these son of a bitches. You victimize us into homelessness. Call us mentally ill when we're abused to the point that we want our lives to end. Eventually these predators get busted, and when they get out, you throw them right back out onto the street with us. Well, now they spent some time in prison. They've been hitting the weight. And then they come out here to our homeless community and it like it's fucking prison yard. You know, if you started arming the homeless, that problem would disappear real quick. Now, if you look at the suggestion, or not the suggestion, the outright statement that the man made on the cover of this, if he holds that to be true, well, then he should go to Spokane, Washington, and arm all of those homeless people whose houses were burned to the ground. How about the ones in Dalles, Oregon, whose camp burned to the ground? You don't want homeless people to live in the woods or at campsites, because those are for people with money to go on vacations with their families. So we're not good enough for a home. You guys own all the property for homes. You're not allowed to live in the woods because that's your vacation homes. You want to charge prices that no homeless person could afford, unless they're a prostitute, in order to rent a room for a couple of nights. You know, my disability money will only pay if I don't buy, it'll pay for 5 hotels. Someone calling himself that real hero typed, "Hello, hi, sir, or it might be somebody who's asking for help. That real hero typed, "How was your day?" Because he was assaulted. The police would probably listen. The man's got money, prestige, and fame. If a homeless man goes to the police, what are the chances they're going to listen? Not very good. If a man is being beaten by his wife and he calls 911, what happens? He gets ostracized, criticized, made fun of. That real hero typed, "You're live, timed out. Did I walk in on something? What's going on? I just came in on tea." You an Aussie or a Brit? Alright, that was rude and presumptuous of me. I apologize. The thing is that these people are not adults. The people who are supportive of autism speaks. When an autistic person speaks, they laugh at us and make fun of us and bully us and call us names. When a male victim of sexual assault speaks up, same thing, we're criticized, ostracized, bullied. When we're assaulted by a girl, we're not allowed to even push her away when she's assaulting us, or we go to jail or prison. But if you just let her beat on you, well, you're going to get made fun of for that too. Ostracized everywhere you go. Now we got this Jason Aldean feller fanning up flames of stupid. Flames of incredible stupidity. I certainly hope that Aldean feller doesn't have to experience homelessness, doesn't have to experience rape, doesn't have to experience beatings, doesn't have to experience his loved ones being stabbed to death, being shot to death, being burned to death, to understand what a horrible thing that he has done. Now, why is the black community so heavy behind this? Well, because the black did too. This ain't about smoke. It's about hearts and minds. That real hero type, may God be with you. I get it. May God be with you. I hope God gets you through anything that's happening right now. Oh my gosh. No, God's not going to get me through shit, and he's not going to get you through shit either. You know what? If you have food right in front of you, and you pray for God to feed you, and you won't eat any other way because you have faith that God's going to do it. No, none of you have that much faith, which is what makes your God a cop-out. There might be a God, I just don't believe in any of yours. See, if Christians spent more time practicing what they preach and less time fucking talking about this supposed God that they believe in, well, you'd be showing us your Jesus. You'd be giving us knowledge. Knowledge that you do actually believe in that deity. That you do actually believe the crap that's coming out of your fucking face. No disrespect. Just because you're able to eat without help doesn't mean that everybody is able to eat without help, or even allowed to eat without help. When you take away someone's spoon, knife, and fork, and you tell them they're not allowed to be rude, you're not allowed to dig in with your hands, you're not allowed to dig in with your face, that's pretty fucked up. If you are eating your dinner and there's somebody there that you claim to care about, doesn't have any arms, let me tell you something. You can sit there at the dinner table. You've got the ability to feed yourself. But you won't do it because you have faith that God's going to do it for you. You're going to fucking starve to death. That person at the other end of the table, you won't let them eat unless they use those utensils. Well, you know what? The person at the other end of the table, if they're hungry, should be allowed to eat. If they don't have the ability to pick up the forks, the knives, and the spoons, to use them so they're not being rude to you, or they have arms, but you won't let them use silverware, you want to take that away. You've got a simple solution in both of those cases. You just can't because it's rude. You'll offend someone. You'll offend someone sitting at the other end of the table who thinks that God's gonna fucking feed him. Dude, the food's right in front of you. Has God not done enough? So we got this Jason Aldean character showing why it is that I speak up. Why I bring up actual heroes like Malcolm X, Yep. I want to give a shout out to Nebraska native Malcolm X. He was born on one end of Nebraska and I was born on the other. I'm promoting equality. You inheriting shit from your mommy and daddy doesn't mean you worked for it, doesn't mean you earned it, doesn't make it yours. When prices are raised to the point that nobody can fucking afford it, well, most people can't afford it. That's the fault of the greedy, not the fault of those being stolen from. Systemic abuse is a felony, no matter how you look at it. And systemic abuse against the homeless is commonplace. The police fucked up with Sammy Leon Lawrence IV. Assumed that he was homeless. He was dressed like a homeless person. He was even carrying equipment that several homeless people in Boulder, Colorado carried daily. A bucket and a trash grabber. In a yuppie place like Boulder, Colorado, work boots mean hobo. So this Jason Aldean feller and his cronies, either they're promoting us killing people, which I am against, or they're just fucking hypocrites, cowards, and useless sons of bitches who should take their opinions and shove them up their asses where their heads have been decades. No wonder they're not thinking straight. They're fighting for oxygen. No wonder their opinions stink. That shit's on their breath. You speak up about police corruption, you got police supporters who are going to bully you. Act like children. How dare you? Well, dumbass, I know the difference between a piece of paper and a human being. Be infallible. With the that are not. That's the point of sundown laws, by the way. Them laws weren't revoked off the books. We just made it illegal to do it to black people. All other homeless people, it's fine. Oh, and by the way, since BLM doesn't give two shits about homeless black people either, yeah, they're right back to the same category they started off with. But go ahead, keep promoting stupid. Keep promoting violence. Keep it up. Someone's eventually going to arm these people. If it's okay to shoot somebody for burning down our houses, that means I owe at least 3 people a free ride to the afterlife. Someone else's property is something that we should be allowed to put a hole through them for. Well, my God, I owe hundreds of holes. There are hundreds of people that I owe Oh, extra holes. No, you guys want to run around all the time, hyped up on hate, talking about killing literally everybody. Your solution for the most at-risk human beings in the country is to lock them up in prisons, lock them up in jails, lock them up in institutions, or shoot them. Therefore, turnabout is fair play, bitch. If your house is burned to the ground, I'm gonna do the same thing that you and your buddies do. I'm gonna rub it in your face, bitch.